perhaps they need a better plan. It would have to be a cunning plan, full of guile. And it would have to consider, of course, the All-Father.
Wow! Oh, I don't have my sound effects up yet, man. See, I knew we couldn't do this. Record on a Monday. There's still people in the office.
This is weird.
See, we're trying... People listening for the first time, we were trying to split up our 3-hour megacast.
It's a brand new day.
Into 2 more digestible chunks. So maybe you're listening for the first time because you see, oh, look, it's only an hour. Now I can listen to it.
Well,
and then complain about how it doesn't have any more. I'm talking to new users, not old.
Oh, we're recording now?
We are recording.
Oh, well, we should.
This is TalkRadar. I don't think we're gonna have a number.
We're not going to number them, but they will still be numbered in our hearts. So when we get to 200 or something, we'll do something
and
special.
we'll debate about it. We'll debate on what's a real episode and what isn't.
Yeah, that's all. It's all discussed.
Because this one, I think in the iTunes chart, it'll just read Brink 4 Top 7 Sega Bullshitter.
Yes. So we're going to break it up. So normally we do a big podcast on Friday that would be the top 7 new releases, everything that happened in that week. So this time we're going to try to do the top 7. Yeah. Talk about the new releases, of which is Brink. We'll have Tyler Wilde in here to discuss Brink. And then some new stuff that happened over the weekend. And then when we do the Friday one, something else that happened.
Yes. It's all to help us. Like, there'll be game deals in this one. There'll be game deals in the one later this week. So you'll hear game deals twice. Maybe we can bring back segments like Dreams. But it's also to help us work a little more dynamically.
Yep.
Such as playing this clip from last night's Robot Chicken.
Tonight's movie will be Radio, starring Cuba Gooding Jr.
Oh, God.
I want pie.
You want strawberry pie or apple pie?
All right. See, before we would have needed had to present you with context to play that kind of amazing stuff.
Well,
no longer.
It reminds me because over the weekend we watched All About Steve and Old Dogs,
which no one told me that was about a retarded girl.
And then All About Steve. All About Steve is just one long autistic joke.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, they keep saying she. What's her name?
Sandra
Bullock is eccentric but lovable. It's like no, that's not what the character is.
She went on a blind date and I like crossword puzzle. Let's fuck. Let's fuck right now. Oh, we're in front of your parents' house in the car. I don't care. Let's fuck. And then she chases him the whole movie like a pretty slobbering.
Then she falls down a well.
God, she falls down a pit.
So what you're saying to me is that it's basically a live-action Nina Hyena cartoon.
Michael Raparez, thank you for the reference. Yes.
It's like the episode with Pepe Le Pew where the girl cat chases Pepe Le Pew.
I see. But she's not as overt about it. It's not Sandra Bullock all...
Well, because you were describing that in that year.
The Glorious Bastards parody.
Yes.
Oh, my God. All right.
All right.
That's a rerun.
Is it a rerun?
Yes.
Just saying. I can do that kind of shit now because we are flying like the wind.
Yes. And we never introduced ourselves to
It doesn't fucking matter, Henry.
Well,
like I said, Henry, you should run this. You have...
I'm just...
I'm Chris Santista.
I'm Michael Raparez.
I am Brett Elston.
Henry messaged me twice today to tell me he was ready. I'm like,
shut up.
Let me pave the way for you, sir.
I said it once.
Yes.
I just thought you should know I'm ready. That's all.
Well, now we can get started. Henry's ready.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Henry, Lord Gilbert is ready. I was trying to play my phone call sound effects. But
the top 7 this week.
Top 7 this week.
Which posted on Monday, and you'll hear about it on Tuesday instead of Friday now.
Oh, shit.
The top 7 this week was the top 7.
Sure.
Off to a good start. Mm-hmm. The top 7 Sega series we want back, which I thought of last Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not a creative topic, but we just hadn't done it yet. What? The mountain is here.
I was just introducing your article.
And then we quickly put this together, Michael, Eric, and I. Just Sega has a bunch of stuff that we like and wish it would come back.
Why the fuck did Saturn games take so long to come out on the Virtual Console? The first one is Guardian Heroes. No offense to Guardian Heroes, Hank.
On XBLA, yeah.
Guardian Heroes is still my favorite.
But why would that be the first one?
That's probably the most beloved
Is it?
Saturn game. Yeah, I remember when I was in college, my roommates had a Saturn, and they would play nothing but that.
Really?
Like, all the damn time.
And compared to a lot of beloved Saturn games, its 2D visuals hold up a lot better.
Yeah.
I should have mentioned that
Well,
new one was coming out in the intro of this article.
They were never that great in the
forgot.
first place because their main draw was like, look how much shit we can pack on screen.
Yeah.
But
Well, just zoom out really far and you can barely tell which one is yours.
But I take issue more with your article that you did not mention Bug, motherfucker.
Oh,
Bug.
Well, you can tell me why. Never.
Nobody likes Bug.
I'd prefer Clockwork Knight.
Yeah.
Ugh, that game is fucking terrible.
Both, how about this? You're both wrong.
No.
And the Saturn
Not acceptable.
the Saturn wasn't as good as you thought it was.
It was better.
It was
Yeah, it was better than you thought it was.
exactly.
I did like in the intro. I made sure to put an an image. We call them OBSs.
Ugh.
I will never tell you why. That says it just has a picture of all the shit they launched in a 10-year period from 89 to 99. 10 years. They launched 5 consoles.
Yeah.
And then
Essentially.
and then a handheld on top of things like Nomad, like the Genesis, Sega CD, 32X, Saturn, Dreamcast, Nomad, Game Gear, CDX as another option for that. Just so fucking much shit.
Sure.
So blah.
All
Genesis
the same
2,
color.
Genesis 3.
Genesis 2 and 3,
All of
yeah,
which were the same system, just with different shells.
So number 7 on the list of series we want back.
Is that too loud? I can't
Yeah, it doesn't count as a series because there's only been one, but for the sake of this, sure. Burning Rangers.
tell. Yeah.
So, like one of the last 3 games released for the Saturn in the U.S.
That's
Oh, it was
right.
part of that trio. It was House-
canceled. It was Panzer Dragoon Saga and Burning Rangers that were released in
And-
very
and,
short
and
supply.
Shining Force 3, and then like the actual last game was like a snowboarding game.
But
what about- where
games
was-
released in very short supply?
Where was House of the Dead in that?
How said it was released?
There's a Saturn version of House of the
It
Dead.
was before that.
Yeah, it was before that. Yeah.
I thought that was one of the last things that came out for it.
Magic Knight Ray Earth was also.
But these were
pretty
games
good.
that were like
that was the real last because I think that came out like months after it was canceled.
Burning
Working
Rangers.
designs are just like, oh, we have to do this.
Burning Rangers was part of a series of games that people were looking very much forward to and did well critically, but were released in very short supply because the Saturn announced it was ending before they came out.
Well, because instead of a Knights 2, Yuji Naka decided to make Burning Rangers instead.
I thought you were going to say Brett Elston decided to not put it on his list.
Oh,
Brett
right.
Elston.
I think.
Hey, I didn't put it on this
Yeah,
list.
this one was a little bit like I suggested it, and then like Eric just seized on it and was like, "Yes, we have to do Burning Rangers." And like,
What do you
it's
do
not
in this
really a
game?
series.
Because I don't know
I
anything
remember
about
you
it.
doing
You're
it.
basically, you're a high-tech firefighter. You go around rescuing people who are in trouble and like using this water beam thing to put out fires, and then
That looks the same shape as fire, just colored blue.
Then you fight like robots that have gone haywire.
Yes. Like Ghostbusters, but with fire and robots.
I
Yeah,
thought it was
kinda.
like an episodic show. Like it was the
very
way the
Die Hard
levels
arcade.
were.
Yeah. And it was kind of neat because like you'd get emails after missions from like people you'd rescued and like, I want to be a Burning Ranger too.
in 1996.
Not to be confused with
Yeah.
Flaming Rangers, kids. Be careful when you look that up on the internet.
This reminds me, if you're talking about firefighting games, I would also like
I
to.
like that.
Fine.
I would
Thumbs
like.
up.
That was not a thumbs up. That was a brush it off, brush it off. You were the third base coach telling me not to run anymore.
The Super Nintendo game Ignition Factor.
What?
It's like different. You're just a normal firefighter. You're not a rocket firefighter, whatever the hell this game is. It's just different floors are on fire, but there's different types of fire. You need different types of. There's water for orange, regular fire. Then there's chemical fire, which were green, and then electrical fires, which were blue. And each of them needed a different type of thing, and you had to save people to get out of the building before it caught on fire.
What color is it when your sex is on?
When my sex is on fire, it is the color of goatee.
I am with the times.
Number 6.
That is a song. Wait, I have the Burning Rangers theme,
I love that.
which is a glorious thing to
I
behold.
love it.
To Sega.
Do you like this, kid?
Fucking Outrun music. Does he ever?
Oh, it's gonna kick in.
I was gonna say
It's gonna kick in so hard.
He's tapping his
I
knee.
couldn't cut anything else out of
He's
it.
holding the mic. He's pulling the mic to his hand. Pulling the mic to his face. There he goes.
Been a burning two-man raider with a fire, different color chemical.
You know, I'm glad this feature doesn't have like Shenmue or Knights on it because those are, those are just cliche.
Yeah, I don't care.
It's cliche.
And
Knights is
as we
awesome.
repeatedly pointed out to several people around the office, there was
Here's a
just
Knights
a
game.
Knights game. Everyone hated it.
Not just a Knights game. There was a Wii Knights
Yeah.
game that was
That was
almost
like
like a
4 years
pseudo
ago
sequel.
now,
It was
wasn't
like the end of 07.
Yeah.
Yeah, plus, I don't care about Shenmue, and I don't care about Knights.
We're ready to start writing about Wii games that need another shot. That article is waiting to happen. Zack and Wiki, what happened? Number 6.
Number 6.
Zack and Wiki Pares, by the way. I'd like to see that Photoshop immediately.
Yeah.
Sir. Yes.
Toe Jam and Earl is number 6.
Toe Jam and Earl.
And I fucking love Toe Jam and Earl. I can't... There's one of those games where the first time I played it, there's two... Aloha. The Hawaiian dancers that make you dance when you walk near them. Problematic if you're being chased by the boogeyman.
Creative Assassin, don't yell, Henry. Gave me a bunch of Toe Jam and Earl sound effects.
The game is
A
loaded.
long time ago.
That's the boogeyman.
No.
No, you're right.
Clearly you're
That-
mistaken.
That was Earl. So
This
that's Earl.
No.
Big Earl.
Elston.
Well, that's the announcer
I'm just kidding.
saying.
God, I love that so much.
That's what it sounds like when Toe Jam talks.
Should I talk about the game? You're gonna play some sound effects.
I just have a bunch.
There's a lot. Do you have a dentist cackle? Maybe
My dentist cackled. Josh.
it should be in there somewhere.
No,
You
that's
eat food. You burp.
not the right one.
You have a Santa
No.
So you land. You're these two aliens, but
I'll punctuate what you're saying with sound.
Okay.
Just keep going.
just how bizarre this game is, and that it fucking happened. Two like very hip hop, gold chain, high top sneakers, hopelessly 90s fucking people, and that would never happen now. And like when they brought it back for there's like a 2002 Xbox game. That's the dentist. They like tried to keep it like we're gonna keep it super street, man, rather than just like update.
Oh, I think I have that too.
Just update the fun of it. Instead, it got like too dick jokey and double entendre stuff, and it's just like that's not what made this fun. The first game was all about their ship lands on this weird fragmented Earth, exaggerated Earth, all these like crazy dentists and Hawaiian dancers that fuck with you and things that throw tomatoes at you or whatever. I don't know. It's just it was just so bizarre and a completely co-op experience where you could play 2-player and go explore these randomly generated levels, and some levels would have a ship piece on it, some wouldn't.
It's a weird game.
And the only goal was to find the elevator that took you to the next floor. Otherwise, you just... Yes, when you fall asleep, you must. But it's just so weird, and really, it was all about co-op and playing together, and like, oh, I'm over here, you're over here, let's do this. So, like, in modern day, with so much emphasis on co-op, like, I really would love this idea to come back and play a game like this online, and like navigate these really interesting worlds. And they shouldn't be... I don't think they should be randomly generated, because that usually just means boring now.
Then you can't tell your friends where to go, share secrets.
Yeah. I can't make a guide for it if it's on fucking random.
Most importantly.
So I'd maybe just think, like, make standard levels, but just make a lot of them and have the ship pieces hidden around, or they're doing something else. You could make a new thing. Hey, ignore that stupid third character from the third game. I don't remember what her name
girl?
was, but there's some girl bug in there or something. And it's like, there's no point of this. And I thought it'd be cool to either reimagine them as, like, either update their lingo and their clothes
Wow, there it is. I did find it.
to be modern hip hop instead of like, no, isn't it funny that they're dressed like 1992? It's like, no, it's not funny.
This is the song from the Toe Jam and Earl 3 from the Xbox.
Yes.
The bad update, which technically disqualifies it as much as Knights. I'd like to point out. Thank you very
It's
much.
2002. That was a while ago.
10 years ago.
Nice.
Oh my god.
This is
We are the soul sisters.
Yeah, there you go.
it's like 8
Singing about
minutes.
Santa Funk.
Santa funk.
It's just the the Xbox was just bad.
This is a Miss Claus joint. Yeah, Santa funk.
So yeah, I don't know. That idea is so weird that I wish it would come back, because it's so friggin' bizarre.
Give it up, give it up, give it up for Master T. Say ho for the greatest rapper around the DJ T. Say I jam.
It's Toe Jam singing his own jams.
Can't stop it, can't even slow it down, y'all. You know.
That girl is poison.
Spin it like a b-ball.
So yeah, either update them with like modern hip hop references and shit.
No, what about
or
Tails Bib Babo?
I like the idea of also
That counts as a joke.
Also, maybe changing it up. Maybe they're super into dubstep or something else that's like a modern equivalent to like.
What are black people into now?
I asked Cheryl,
And is it cool?
I asked Cheryl, like, who's very much into the scene, like hip hop of today, and I'm like, so in '92, the scene of hip, like '91, '92, is there any modern music equivalent that's blowing up as big as hip hop was in the early '90s? And she said there really wasn't one, but like all the many splinters of music that have come out, like nothing can grow as fast as something that just happened. Because hip hop, there were only so many ways you could get your music then, but now it's like you have niches of niches, and it's impossible for something to. This new sound is caught on like rap metal, man.
Yes.
And that was the last like sound I remember happening in like
We would
'99.
like the next Toe Jam and Earl to sound like Incubus's first album.
All right, now moving on.
I don't want to move on yet. I can't argue the sound.
It's Shinobi. Michael wrote this one.
Everybody loves Shinobi.
And it's such a basic idea of a badass ninja killing shit.
Yeah.
And they just had, other than that, 2002 or 3 remake, whatever it was.
2005, wasn't it?
No, 2002.
Was it 2002? That long ago?
And then Nightshade was the sequel that came out in 2003.
Oh, with the female character?
Yeah. Wasn't this good? Wasn't very good at all.
No, it wasn't.
I'd never seen it before. I got a clip of it for the Nintendogs parody video where you just kill dog. Video where we just showed animal cruelty to dogs specifically for 10 minutes.
Okay.
But just the fucking, there were a bunch of dogs that run after you with swords in their mouths, and then like. What's his nuts from Shinobi? What's his name?
Joe Musashi?
He just
Hotsuma is
everything pauses, and then all of several dozen dogs just slide apart.
Oh yeah.
That was the best thing about that game.
Yeah, the reimagining.
Yes.
I didn't mind the big red scarf they gave him.
That was kind of cool.
It made it visually interesting, but it seemed
it was cool. Like that's the first thing I remembered when I saw it at E3. Like for the first time, it's like, wow, that looks really awesome.
Yeah.
Like Spawn or something. But
so
cool.
Like Spawn is so cool.
It seemed a very
like Spawn, but cool.
It seemed a very Spawn thing to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is strange. Like it must have sold well enough to justify Nightshade. But then, like, why wouldn't you go back to Shinobi ever?
Yeah, ever.
Well, I think
it's been almost 10 years.
I think it's more likely Shinobi sold okay, but they're like, we gotta. And we were working on Shinobi 2, but let's just paint it up as a girl and try to sell it that way. Maybe we'll do a little better.
I think it's more likely they had that game started before Shinobi even came out.
Yeah, probably.
That Shinobi was a giant success.
But like Shinobi 3 for Genesis is still one of my favorite games.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's a great game.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know
Everybody seems to love Revenge of Shinobi.
It's pretty good.
I never got into it. Really,
I don't. Yeah, it's not on my top, but I have a big affinity for Shadow Dancer because of the dog.
I don't know. I think Sega should be aiming Shinobi for XBLA and PSN kind of release and as a
it's
just a classic
go to
2D
die.
game.
Like a new 2D one instead of trying to.
I just don't think he's. I don't think he can transition to 3 dimensions. Like,
I think he totally could. I mean, have Platinum Games fucking take that game, or like Michael said, Ninja Theory would be a good.
Or even like something like Muramasa is actually much closer to the spirit of Shinobi than like the remake was.
That's true.
Yeah. Either one of those, and it always needs some kind of crazy bosses like Spider-Man, Godzilla, half cameos,
and Batman. I believe he was in one of the Shinobi games.
Yeah.
Number 4,
but it only makes you think of Legend of Kage.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it had a sequel in DS, which is kind of awesome.
Actually, Ninja
really
5.0
weird.
was like what you get if you crossed Shinobi with Bionic Commando.
Okay.
And that was awesome.
What number are we on?
number 5, 4. Shining Force.
Legend of Kage was horrible.
What is?
Legend of Kage. Have you ever
Some
played
people
that
I
game?
love that fucking game.
Oh, why?
Because you can jump like
That's all you can do.
It's like a Dr. Seuss book.
I fucking hate that
Jump
game.
up so many times.
And the animation of him swinging the sword is just.
I love it, but it reminded me when there was like for some reason Legend of Kage 2 on the DS like 3 years ago, and it was kind of awesome because I did love the first one a lot in the arcades and on the NES, and a lot of it reminds me of Shinobi, just a side-scrolling ninja badass. Can happen.
It's almost a vertically scrolling game because you spend so much time in the trees.
I know. Wait, number 4. I forgot. What
4.
was.
Shining Force.
Oh Jesus! I'll back up.
Shining Force.
Disappear.
Just a great like grid-based tactics game before stuff like Final Fantasy Tactics and Disgaea and I mean, Famicom Wars was out, but I mean in the U.S. we had no real equivalent. So
this was before Final Fantasy made tactics games cool.
Yeah, and I mean it's also not dissimilar to something like Fire Emblem, but again we didn't have that either over here. So for us in the U.S. growing up, like this was kind of the go-to grid-based strategy game, and there's
especially for people who like centaurs.
Yeah.
Lots of fucking centaurs.
Just a ton of cool shit in there, and I mean that series, Shining Force 1 was good, and 2 was even better. It's just like, why not? But then it had all these, like, just the Shining series. There's like Shining in the Holy Ark, Shining Wisdom, Shining in the Darkness, I think was the first one.
I think so, yeah.
But then there were a ton of spin-offs after this that were just terrible. Tears, Force Neo, EXA, really bad, not interesting. Just keep this further distancing itself from the point of why we all like Shining Force, which was always the standout of the Shining games. The others were good, like Shining in the Holy Ark and Shining Wisdom.
Game?
Shining Wisdom was good, but
after at a point though, Camelot, the creators stopped making them, and they got kind of. They started
They
working
went to
with
make
Nintendo.
Mario Golf RPGs?
They started making Mario
and
sports
you all
games.
wonder why
And
Mario
awesome.
Golf and tennis were so
It's
awesome
awesome.
on GBA, on Game Boy Color. It's because fucking these people did it.
And then
Advanced game,
Golden
right?
Sun, they did that too, but that
Which
was
one? Oh, Golden Sun, yeah.
But aside from that, like Camelot, they started as like Sonic RPG team or something. I forget their original name. I read this once, but they were the Shining team for a while. They were the Shining team for a while, and I don't know why Sega let them go, but they.
Chris, you're having a lot of trouble over there with your own belch.
It smells so
Is
bad.
it too early?
I guess. It is really early for us, and I just ate, so I don't know why it already smells like rotten garbage.
That's probably what's ever left in your teeth from last night.
Oh, man.
Gotta brush your teeth every day.
Yeah. You mean,
Not just every week.
You know what's left in my mouth from last night?
Here we go.
No, it was just pussy. With a little bit of asshole.
Number 3.
Sorry, I
That
couldn't
sound makes me
contribute. I
think
couldn't
of an
contribute the
asshole.
whole Shining Force thing, so I had to bring
Fantasy
it down
Star.
Oh, I can't do anything.
Man.
Tell me more about your mouth.
It's another sad death of an RPG by Sega.
Because in here, this is one where Phantasy Star has slithered along a painful existence
Sort of.
that I don't approve of at all. And
You didn't play the PSP one, did you?
no, I sure didn't. And Phantasy Star
Who do
Online.
you think you are? Not Japanese?
Phantasy Star Online took it to this, mission-based MMO.
And it
sort
was a
of
nice
MMO.
side thing.
And it was supposed to be kind of like, oh, it's the Phantasy Star idea, but on Dreamcast in 2001, it was a really cool idea. You could link up with friends on the internet.
What?
On your console.
The internet?
Which,
You plug it into your phone line.
PC players have been doing this for years already, so it wasn't interesting to any of them. But console, it was cool.
It was cool.
For what it's worth, like Halo was to console FPSs as Phantasy Star Online was
to
to
EverQuest or
that kind
for
of
lack
shit.
of a better fucking
For lack of a better
memory,
thing.
Jesus.
But Phantasy Star Online never evolved from there, so it just got stuck.
And it required a monthly fee.
It did for a while, I think. Michael was
I was here
Yeah.
when Christian. We've said that Christian canceled it. While
No,
I
that was
here.
Universe.
Yeah, Universe was different.
Okay.
PSO was originally free, and then they released version 2, which had you had to pay to play, and then like all versions going forward from that, you had to pay. I
So,
think. I don't know about the GameCube one.
It's
but
this weird half.
Which is the only online game.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I know it was kind of a hard sell on Xbox Live because, like, wait, so you mean I have to pay a fee in addition to what I'm paying for Xbox Live? And that's why MMOs don't work so well on the 360 or the Xbox.
Except for Final Fantasy 11, that shit rocks.
Yeah, it does.
Who doesn't love I don't. Sorry.
But way before it was online, it was just really great, massive RPG.
It was a huge RPG that was leaned a little bit more sci-fi than fantasy. So it was a great counterpart to Final Fantasy back before Final Fantasy ditched the very notion of fantasy and became practically fucking Phantasy Star. Like, you look at 13, and if they just called that Phantasy Star 5, I would completely believe it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It looks more like a Phantasy Star game than any Final Fantasy. And I don't mind the look of 13. It's gorgeous, and I really like it, but Phantasy Star should quit trying to be a mini MMO, especially in this day and age. Like, you're not going to beat WoW. You're not going to even compete with WoW.
The technology's outgrown the mini MMO anyway, except for Monster Hunter.
Yeah, Monster Hunter is the anomaly in the situation, and it works. But like, you're not going to. They're just starting to prep Phantasy Star Online 2. After 10 fucking years.
That's happening?
After
PC only.
PC only. Like, just, do you want to kill this fucking
Sega
thing?
knows its audience.
How are they
sure
even
does.
gonna, how are they even going to beat Guild Wars 2?
Fucking Rift. Like, so much of this stuff is doing better, and there's just no reason to introduce this at this point. Like, I would rather...
Beer tastes bad.
I'd rather they just, like, took it back to what it was, a character-driven story. Like... The only JRPG that matters anymore is Final Fantasy. All the others are like the Tales games are big. Well, sort of in Japan.
Dragon Quest? Nothing to Dragon Quest?
Yeah, outside of Japan, no,
not at all.
Like it's still.
I will say that Dragon Quest 9, which they advertised the crap out of, did sell 1 million copies in America.
But
and
Nintendo
Europe
published it and really pimped the shit out of it.
I think for as much as Nintendo pimped it, 1 million is average at best, but that's still way the best that's ever sold, though. Comparatively, I think Dragon Quest 6 probably sold like 6, maybe 100,000.
Yeah,
maybe.
But I mean, Phantasy Star 2 is a fucking great game with an amazing soundtrack, and it's known years before Aerith, Sephiroth, all that shit. Like, has a famous character death in it, and
4 did the same. 4 also had a really
and
great...
4 is just an amazing game anyway. 3 kind of sucks, but whatever. But just like this could have been. Or could be. Sega could pull this thing out of its fucking ashes and make a new RPG series out of this that continues that kind of very spacey, like, and ditch this character creation. Make a party of 4. Let's all sit in a lobby and look at our items together.
I think
Let's wait while we all take turns selling off our shit.
And it's just like, that idea was great in 2001, even 2002, and into 03 and 04, perhaps. But like now, take it back the other way, and maybe try to get some of the people who were turned off by FF13 or just there's a chance there to do something cool with it. And I like Phantasy Star, and I want it to be anything but on this fake baby MMO that it is.
I see you mentioned that Phantasy Star 4 retailed for like $100 when it came out in 1995.
Yeah,
it just reminds me of that brief period where it's like, we don't know what games are worth anymore. Here it's Final Fantasy 3 is $80. All the N64 launch games are $100.
Well, I thought it was a point of RAM that like they put the.
It got to the point where the cartridges were too expensive and the memory was too much.
Wasn't that also why like Strider on Genesis was like $80 because it was like it's the first 16 meg cartridge.
The first 16 meg cartridge was Street Fighter 2.
Well, whatever. It was a lot of megs very early.
Probably the first 8 meg. Yeah,
probably 8. But yeah,
and then they charged a ton for it.
But like Killer Instinct Gold for N64 was $90.
There it is.
Final Fantasy 3 was $80. And
it was Donkey Kong Country.
It was 60.
It
was 50 or 60.
That.
I can't remember.
Yeah, but this was after we'd gotten used to like $40 was the price you paid for games. Now that's budget price.
Yeah, it's sad.
It's crazy.
So yeah, it just soared in 94 to like these. Everything is $60, $70, $80. Like Mortal Kombat 2 was $70.
And even with those high cartridge prices, and then like PlayStation really getting an edge by having cheap CDs, like
$50.
Nintendo still didn't get it.
No, they were $50 PS1 for Metal Gear Solid, or you can pay $65 for GoldenEye, maybe $70. It's like, well, yeah, one's good and one will last you longer, but
but that's not about Sega.
Number 2.
We got off on a bit of a tangent.
Yes, we
Felt
sure
like
did.
that.
Number 2. Can't go on until I hit the sound effect, Chris.
I'm not ready.
Jet Set Radio.
Yeah.
Jet Set Grind Radio.
Seth Grind Radio?
Seth Grind Radio.
Yes. I like it.
So yeah, it was a little bit of confusion. The series was always Jet Set Radio in Japan.
Yes.
It was changed to Jet Grind Radio for I don't know what reason when it came over.
These kids
here.
love grinding, man. They love that way more than setting.
I'm sure there's an interesting story about it that somebody would want to tell me, but yeah, I don't know. Don't care. But yeah, it came back. Jet Set Radio Future was the sequel, and so just kind of referring to the series as Jet Set Radio. But
why not? We can all accept that.
Fucking great. Like, this is one of my favorite games from that era, where it was just all about kind of semi-free roaming and just wandering around doing tricks to get up to areas. It's like I'm gonna lay down a gigantic fucking graffiti tag here, while a bunch of cops run around like idiots going hoop 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 hoop. And yeah, that's a very
I gave Michael one of those.
Yeah, the Beach Boys soundtrack.
Because I explained it so clearly and concisely.
No, I just loved, like, I played the Dreamcast one for about a week and really wanted to get into it, and for some reason I couldn't. I think it was because of Dragula.
Big Boy. Was that in the game?
Yes.
Yeah. It was added to the U.S. version.
Yeah, but
it was a requirement back then.
And then they put a remix into it.
Yeah, a remix of Dragula.
Well, the Japanese soundtrack, the U.S. soundtrack was basically the Japanese.
We got
soundtrack.
most of it, yeah. But then you feel insulted as an American that they had to throw fucking Rob Zombie.
No, I'm like skating in this very Japanese cel-shaded world. Dig through the trenches and birds.
I love it. I think that was where I was introduced to Chibumato, and like that was an awesome song. Somebody listed it as their least favorite game song ever. I'm like, you're so fucking wrong. It's so great.
Which one did they have on there?
Birthday Cake.
Birthday Cake was fantastic.
Birthday Cake on, I forget which game. It might have been Future.
But even though I never got into it, like even as I was playing it, I'm like, this looks amazing. I love this idea.
It looks amazing, and it's fucking for Sega. For Sega, it's a little subversive.
Yeah.
It's slightly subversive. It had a fucking warning on it.
This was pre-Grand Theft Auto 3 that Jack Ryan Radio came out. And then the second one was afterwards, obviously. But it was just like this anarchic, thumbing your nose at authority vibe that like no other game series had that.
Yeah. It was you were living in a police state, but they weren't total. It looks just like our world. Like everybody seems to be going to work and getting along fine, but they're not letting you express yourselves, man. Fuck that. Underground radio, tag the shit out of these corporate... Man,
It's basically, this is what
so
Japanese...
fucking heavy,
Japanese punk rockers came up with.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Yeah, it's still like an awesome... I can't believe it existed.
But like with the power of like a 360 or PS3, like what it could be like right now...
Not much different.
I know that they could do something so fucking amazing with it.
Not just fidelity, a lot more characters.
Not just the
screen.
looks, but like just going like the size of the city, the number of different things you could do.
That was my one problem with Jet Grind was that there seemed to be a lot more invisible walls than I would have liked. They could have been much bigger, the areas you started.
Maybe.
Though I remember at the time
that was
I
the
read
first big cell-shaded game, though, wasn't it?
No, that's what I was going to say. I read at the time Sega really regretted showing it as early as they did because many people ripped off the cell-shaded look that they basically invented. Maybe somebody will say that they'll find some super obscure game that did it before Jet Grind, but Jet Grind made it popular, but a lot of people ripped it off first. Including
it was
Nintendo.
Auto Modelista's idea.
Yeah.
And yet Jet Grind Radio was not that popular.
No, it wasn't.
Kind of sold like shit, and I don't know how well the Game Boy version sold, but I know that like Dreamcast version discounted down to $10 within months.
That's
when I bought it.
Jet Set Radio Future,
it's packed in with Sega GT.
Yeah,
I bought it for $2
after it had bombed
as a free Xbox game,
and still nobody cared about it.
Tragic.
So
that's when I bought an Xbox. I'm like, what? Jet Set Radio for free? Fuck you. That's mine.
Moving on to number one.
I'm not done yet. Oh, the music is playing.
Panzer Dragoon.
What?
The Hounds! Flying off a cliff.
Fucking love that game.
It's fucking brilliant. Like it's hard to. I mentioned this in the text, but like, yes, when you show screens of this,
God, I wish you could see it.
It's just the screens are like, yeah, it's an ugly Saturn mess of polygons. But
you're a fairly recent convert to Panzer Dragoon, aren't you?
No, well, I liked the original one when I played it in '95 when it came out, but like here and there, I never had a Saturn, so my friend had one, and I played it like the first level over and over again. It was like, hey, this game's pretty cool. I like it. It
took me a long time to figure out about the homing part of the game. So
yeah,
I was just bash.
Yeah, I was like, I like this idea. It's cool. But then, yeah, like a year and a half ago, Dan Amrich left, and I bought his Saturn, and he had Panzer Dragoon 1 and 2. So I bought that and finally got to sit down and really just digest that game.
I just jizzed.
Dan Amrich.
Wow.
Oh, wow. I'm glad we have him on call at all times.
TMI, Dan.
Yay!
That was all right, Dan.
That's also Dan Amrich.
Calm down. Sorry, Yelston. Your story was.
My story was that. But no, then playing it, like the mix of the music, which is fucking amazing, the soundtrack to that game, the mix of the music, the idea of the world, Saturn logo, of riding on a dragon's back as it is a tube and it's a shooting gallery basically, but you can hit the L and R buttons and like look all around you. So like stuff is flying at you from all these directions, but you can multi-target and shoot like all those anime missiles out where the lasers go in all these directions.
Kind of like Res.
You can earn more of them. You can change that weaponry. And
and it's
even the base look to your right and left.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can sort of figure out how you solved each level. I don't know. I had a great time.
They're just like a mix of like, even though the graphics are so primitive, there's a moment, and even like the second level, where you're watching all these sandworms dive around, and just the music and feeling of actually flying on this dragon. Like, there's like, wow, I really want to explore this world and see what else is here. And then in Panzer Dragoon Saga, famously brilliant and underplayed game because only like 5 copies fucking exist. Let you do that. Fly all over, random encounters, huge new RPG based in that world where you can customize your dragon and do all this cool shit with it.
No more on-rail shooting. Jesus.
And then it was just like one of the coolest battle systems of any fighting of any RPG ever. It was like a great mix of wait your turn, but then also actually play. And then the series just went tits up and died.
Well, there was Orda, but
there was nothing on Dreamcast. And then when Sega died, they brought Panzer Dragoon Orda to Xbox. That was all right, but it's like
it's really good.
It's very pretty, but there's like a whole level. All the stuff when you're on the dragon with no wings. Like I know the other game did that before, but it's just the way it did it was so boring to me. And then also when we went from an RPG as big as Saga to back to a rail. And then it goes into these weird, like it starts looking like Res, where you fight this giant floating robot.
You do go into Tron or THX 1138 at some point in the game.
No, I don't want that in this. I want it to be fucking these crazy floating cities
post-apocalyptic,
and dragons. And then fucking music was so good. So, yeah, like Orda is the newest. I think that's 03 maybe.
Orda is the last.
But even that's 8 years ago, and it was a misstep, I think. So bring it back. Make us a new Panzer Dragoon Saga. And release an HD remake of the original, like on XBLA or PSN.
None of that went well. Like remember, it looked like there was going to be like an exclusive deal with Sega and Sega and Xbox and Microsoft, and none of that fucking went well.
No, the biggest thing that came out of it was fucking Monkey Ball. Yeah. Everything else
that was Nintendo.
I know, but everything else Sega tried died. Like Shenmue died.
Yeah, but it gave Xbox. Oh, like here you have Shenmue, Jet Set Radio, Sega GT, Panzer Dragoon, and nobody fucking cared.
Well, you could see how Sega like aimed stuff at each different console. Like, okay, for Nintendo, we'll have Monkey Ball. We'll put Sonic Adventure there, and we'll put Billy Hatcher.
Yeah, and PlayStation had like Virtua Fighter, I think.
Yeah, like, it got Virtua Fighter, and it got Shinobi, and the Divorce stuff like that. So, and I think they got a Racer as well. No, that was. Xbox got Sega GT.
They should have just put like
the GT rules,
and that's why
House of the Dead 3 was.
House of the Dead 3 was on Xbox only.
But then by the end of that console saga, like, nah, let's just put everything on every system. Who cares?
God damn it!
Sonic Heroes for everyone.
Fuck. So notice how we didn't mention Sonic because he gets to exist on everything all the time at every moment.
He gets a second chance every year.
Did we already talk about Sega or Sega and Sonic? Sonic 4 Episode 2.
Yeah.
And how it may never happen, who knows?
Nothing. Usually when you release episodic content via DLC,
there's news of when the next one's coming.
There's news, but everybody seemed to hate this one, and then here's the Sonic Generations trailer.
What are you talking about hated it? I heard Games Radar gave it a 9.
I didn't say but there was...
Nice
what's the point? What's the point in releasing something that's going to be received like that?
Well, also because...
Hey guys, we tried. Fuck you! His eyes are... green! I'm not playing this
shit. Sonic Generations.
He's not fast enough. Fuck you! And like, fine. You know what, guys? Not doing any more Sonic 4. That's what I would. I would be like. I would be the pissy fucking nanny over that. Fine. You cry that much.
Like we tried this old school shit and you hated it, so fuck you.
Fuck you.
Well, no, they didn't say fuck you. They said, oh, okay, we'll make it even more older school. Look, he's fat. He's got black eyes.
Oh god, that's Sonic Generation. It's the saddest thing.
Look, we'll make it even more older school. Look how many animal mascots he has.
This Sonic Generation is the saddest thing we forced Sega to do ever.
Oh yes, it's terrible.
It is the saddest thing. Like, are you happy now? He's slightly pudgy.
Yeah.
And
like, look, he looks just like the character model off the cover that says "not for resale" and all of.
And I look at the characters. Oh, they're both together, and I can't see how 20 years has been between them because it seems like you would have evolved more than that, but you haven't. Silliness.
Look at Mario though; he didn't evolve much.
Hold
at all.
on.
What are you talking about?
Are we done?
Yep.
I want to do some game deals.
What? Man, this is. I'm scared. This is so strange.
I would like to apologize. I forgot to put Skies of Arcadia in the also.
That's okay.
What about Vector Man too?
Who cares?
But it went. Where did Skies of Arcadia came to? What was the first platform it came on?
Well, Dreamcast then GameCube.
Yeah, the GameCube one kind of sucks.
It was better.
Not than the Dreamcast one. I thought it was pretty terrible.
Okay.
All right, game deals, very short game deals. Best Buy $30 gift card. Just so we can react dynamically now. $30 gift card when you buy any 2 Call of Duty games. And don't fucking moan and groan. You know that's a good deal.
Sorry, I just listened to Activision's quarterly earnings call for a tiny bit today. It's just a bragathon of saying like Black Ops is now the highest selling game that's ever come out, and we did it in 5 months. Can you believe it? In the last 3 months, it outsold every other game. This game that came out in November.
They say that, but then you know what it beat the records on? Modern Warfare 2. Which beat the game of like a year before. Like, it's like box office records. Like, it used to mean something, and now they condense their market focus and time length that it has to make all that money in that much amount of time, or else it's not really a success. So every year something breaks the record, and like, I don't even care anymore. Grand Theft Auto 4, remember that? Has sold more than any franchise, is the most successful thing in the history of everything. And the next year something beat it, and the next year Call of Duty beat it, and the next year
and every week
Call of Duty beat
every
it.
week
And I can't be expected to care every time.
Call of Duty is becoming the Madden of military shooters. It's just like you can expect it every year, and
I'm surprised we've never said it like that before.
Everybody gets it.
It's kind of how boring I look at it now.
Every week I get an email that says the next game that came out is the fastest selling.
Yes,
Like
that's not interesting anymore.
Most pre-orders of all time in
it's like,
series history.
Given that you have a full price sell through of like maybe a week, month, and you drop the price unless you're Nintendo or
speaking of drop prices,
PlayStation. Speaking of drop prices, damn it! I want to see if I can match that up with Paul Ryan. So anyway, $30 gift card when you buy 2 Call of Duty games at Best Buy. Kmart, Portal 2 reduced to $34.99, and I think you get a $15 gift card when you buy Motorstorm Apocalypse. Amazon, get this, 2 Kinect games for $60. Almost what they're worth. And
when was the last time a Kinect game came out?
You'll have Child of Eden soon, I guess.
Oh, that game!
I'm
that
gonna
game
play
is
that
pretty
with
fucking
controller.
wicked. What? Are you crazy?
Yeah,
dude, it's kind of
guess I
great.
am. Nah, fuck
Yeah,
that.
only $200 to get that great Kinect control.
You have the Kinect. We have
I'm
Kinect
not,
in the
I'm not gonna
office.
borrow the Office Kinect.
Why?
Well, I don't have. I sit like 3 feet from my TV. I can't sit close enough.
Oh yeah,
for it
you
to
can't
work.
see that on.
I have to
Facebook.
rearrange my fucking living room.
Well, I live in a studio, so it's even more cramped than your living room. So, that made it sound like your living room is cramped. It's not. But I'm just saying.
Mine is. Yeah.
It is for Kinect.
Mine is totally cramped. 3 people live in there. I did look at it like, Tyler, you're never gonna read these books again. You're taking up valuable shelf real estate with all these books. Will you get them down? I just bought Terminator Salvation on Blu-ray.
Yeah, need room for that. Get rid of some of these old media
Who
crap
the
things.
fuck is James Joyce?
The way
My
you
fucking
said,
ass.
Well, you said books.
Books.
You got a real pretty book.
Books. You got real pretty books. It's me doing my best Bill Hicks. Books.
What you reading for?
What you reading for? We also have Mortal Kombat is reduced to $40 at Toys R Us.
Wow, they wouldn't have sold back in 1992. They wouldn't have sold that game.
That's true. That's true.
How the mighty have fallen.
And for a while they were giving a discount.
Where's their morals now?
They were giving a discount when you bought Mortal Kombat on Blu-ray, the original movie. I don't think that's happening anymore, but they have an in-store coupon. You can get an additional $10 off. But Amazon has matched Toys R Us, so it's $40 as well. Here might be other in-game cash. And that is Game Deals. And there'll be more. There'll be more in a couple days. How about that? How about that, bitches?
Are we breaking?
Yeah, we can break. When we get back, I want to talk a little Thor. How about that?
And brink.
And a little brink. Tyler Wilde doesn't have a strap line. We're gonna give him one.
We're on the brink of a new strap line.
Yes, stop it! Oh, we need to get Tyler in here. He's got to hear these. Mine are really good. Henry, you got some brink puns?
I've got some good ones too.
All right. Michael, you have 10 minutes to think of some. Brink straplines for Tyler.
Okay.
Right now, depending on the score, it's either on the brink of success or on the brink of failure once we figure out a score.
Better than Call of Duty? I don't brink so.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This is
Let's
too
save
much.
this goal
We gotta
for
go.
Tyler.
We gotta go. Elson can't hold on.
Hi, this is Chris Slade of Nintendo Power. You're listening to TalkRadar of GamesRadar.com.
Hey!
Yes?
You look like a real asshole!
Well, I am an extremely serious gamer.
He's completely devoid of humor. So what you doing?
Well, my level 80 guild and I were running off to complain about the journalistic credibility of Ars Technica's Naruto review on NeoGAF.
Wrong, Dick! You're listening to TalkRadar! Oh, I'm sorry! You thought you were funny? Well, guess the fuck what?
Amend your fucking review, shit dick. Right? Swear to fucking Christ, I'll jump into that goddamn internet and kick you in the fucking throat.
We ain't no fucking magazine, we got the F word!
Fuck you, I thought it was funny.
Fuck you!
No, you two separate.
Let's fucking...
Separate.
We got hour-long stories about shitting!
Came out like a baby elephant. Didn't hurt a bit.
Talk radar with a house at Abe Lincoln's bonus bill!
Call it the Kid Fuckers Hoagie.
Totally awesome video
My love is sweet. Yes, I'm cooking for my son and his wife. It's his 30th birthday. 2 days into my bowl at the milk of 2 months ago. It's more than mom, isn't it? I don't give a flying fuck about.
Let's roll. What? Talk Radar without a number. But it's segment 2.
How do I know which one it is?
It's May 10th. How about that?
Okay.
That do? It's May 10th. And Henry Gilbert is here.
If I can, I want to hyperventilate.
Oh, and Tyler Wilde is here.
Hi.
For a special reason, which I will regale you with.
A special reason that I'm still working on.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tyler Wilde. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the lens flare you threw out at the last second.
Really impressive display of polygons whenever Tyler's here.
Pre-rendered cinemas.
It still look like garbage.
New releases this week. Is everybody ready?
Yep.
Yes.
No. Lego Pirates of the Caribbean. Hooray, right?
Just in time for the 4th film.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe they're making a 4th Pirates.
Yeah,
it's made $1 billion.
I didn't know Al Swearingen was in it. Now I'm all of a sudden interested.
Slightly
Goddamn hooper-headed.
But I'm used to them stopping at a trilogy and then rebooting it in 5 years.
Well, it's sort of a reboot. Sparrow's the only returning character.
Really?
Everybody else has been
I think
dropped.
Barbossa's in there, isn't he?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, he's on the poster next to my house. So.
Okay, fine.
But all the other main protagonists were pretty annoying.
Pretty boring.
Pretty
boring.
Orlando Bloom and Kieran.
Like they had to become better than the characters they were set up as in order to continue with the series anyway.
Orlando Bloom is excellent.
Hey, now we know what time they shut the air conditioner off, right? It was all cold in here before.
They have to get sexy.
New the first Templar. The first Templar, which I was looking at another site who had a buyout, and it looked like somebody had bought an entire ad based on a bad Photoshop of Assassin's Creed.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I keep seeing that juxtaposed like accidentally with
crazy.
Assassin's Creed.
I don't think it's much of an accident on First Templar's part, but it's not Ubisoft. It's brought to you by Calypso, makers of the Twisted Metal Tournament. Thank you. I'll take a delayed reaction.
I got it.
I'll take a delayed reaction.
Is Calypso part of the new Twisted Metal at all?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, he is.
But this game stars Ezio Auditore, I believe.
Yes, Ezio.
With great steel drum music.
An alti knot. Yeah.
Alti ground.
Alti knot. Who could forget?
It's all about how Templars can climb walls way better than the assassins. You're fighting against.
Start out as a character named Desiree.
They're both historical public domain sects. So.
And this didn't come out this week, but that Bangai-O Missile Fury.
Oh Jesus!
We went over to
recorded Michael
Grimm.
We went to
Grimm's last Saturday, and watching him play that was like I don't know.
I think you can do it. You don't need a visual. Yeah, fuck, God, shit, I'm fucking killing it. Game over. Yeah, that happened. Like it was game over. Like just that quickly.
Just him screaming at the TV and rage and like, yeah, motherfucker, do it. Yeah, eat me. Fuck you, ants! Fuck you, ants! And then game over. Like he was winning, and then it's over that quick, and then better luck next time. And then he just rage gone. Like cool.
I'm so disconnected with the site. I saw that I would have loved to review Outland because I was playing Outland, and but we just got a review up, and it's a 9. It's a very good game. Yeah. It's a nice little side-scrolling Prince of Persia platformer, almost exactly like Prince of Persia.
The only problem with doing these on Monday is that we don't know the Metacritic. We don't know what everyone else is giving. Everything else. No, we don't need it.
Don't need it.
Like,
we know what we gave stuff.
No,
we gave Outland a 7 plus 2.
Yeah, obviously we know, but it's nice to be able to see what everyone else was giving a game. Which, to be fair to everyone else who bitches about fucking Metacritic, it's like, well, yeah, the breaking it down into a paragraph and use an aggregate score and then fucking with everyone's scores who don't use 1 out of 10. Yeah, that's shitty, and you shouldn't base anything off of that crap, but we would still, after review came out, every outlet would look at what everyone else gave every other game because you want to compare and be like, so what did everyone else think? But no one tailors their reviews to fit Metacritic.
Well, you might not. That used to be part of our editorial process.
Oh yes, absolutely.
I forgot about that.
Speaking of not,
I wasn't even
speaking of
that.
Yes,
MX versus ATV Alive is out this week, and we're hopefully going to have a good guest reviewer to come back and maybe write a 4-part article about the process.
Oh, good.
And then not review it.
He needs to have worked here 4 years ago and not remember what an ATV is.
Well, I think we could get Paul Ryan.
Maybe if he can make the review about how agonizing it is to write a review.
Oh, it's such a process.
And it ends with him just saying, I'm not writing this.
It's just too hard.
And then blaming the process.
Yeah.
It was the process. I did manual labor over the weekend, helping my mom garden.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Thank God I have a job writing a review for a game. Yes. Oh my God, 3 hours of digging dirt and I'm done.
I can't believe it.
Yeah. So for writing reviews, I hate it. Ugh. It's so much better than
the world needs ditch diggers too, Tyler. Especially on Mother's Day.
We should do that more often for perspective.
Yeah. I suppose, because being here in this company, we are the ditch diggers.
You know what else came out this week?
Only metaphor.
What?
Virtua Tennis 4.
No. Oh, Jesus.
Nah.
I want to give the Wii Sports music, but I can't find it.
That's something Sega tries a lot at.
Virtua Tennis 4?
They should have been out sooner, though. Top Spin 4 has been out longer.
Yeah.
You know what?
They should have come out same day.
At some point, the technology and the hardware, tennis is not going to change. Mm-hmm. So eventually, the tennis game will have been made.
Yeah.
And the football game, and the other than rosters and
it has the tennis game. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's probably a Virtua Tennis.
Probably. The game's not going to change.
I preferred Mario Tennis.
Do we have a favorite tennis game? I really don't want this to be. Well,
Mario
Tennis.
Question
of the week right now.
Mario Tennis is
Mario Tennis.
Fun.
That's still Friday.
Mario Tennis.
I would still say Mario Tennis, even though that's not what we're after here. I think.
Michael, favorite tennis game?
The one I didn't play.
Wrong!
Mario Tennis was the answer.
No, it was Hot Shot Tennis. Hot Shot Tennis.
Right.
It's the same thing!
I'm so sorry,
I
everybody.
have not liked a tennis game since the original 2600.
That answer is mega acceptable.
You know what? If you like Hot Shots, you like Mario sports games more because they were made by Camelot and made better.
But Virtua Tennis means to be a simulation.
I can't not think Waluigi's voice when he gets
Yes, Waluigi is in them, and I'm sorry.
So the big game out this week, unless there's something else magic.
Hydrophobia Prophecy.
Oh my God.
They ported Hydrophobia to the other.
That's why the rest of the office isn't here. They're all working on the review.
Yeah, that's an interesting story because Hydrophobia was released, got pretty bad reviews, and then they went and were like, okay, fine, we're going to fix everything. And then they released an update called Hydrophobia Pure, and that was on the 360. And now they're like, we're bringing it to PlayStation and
PC.
PC. And so
well, technically, I guess it's on PlayStation, but
not yet.
You're not going to download it.
Yeah. And then that's Hydrophobia Pure, upgraded even further to Hydrophobia Prophecy, and they still plan to make this series a trilogy, even though there's now 3 iterations of the first game.
They're not done with the first one.
Trying to make it decent.
I remember when the game first came out, they accused lots of people like, well, you just don't know how to play it. You just don't understand it. Nope. Yep. And then a month later, they're like, okay, yeah, it had a lot of problems. We fixed it now. It's great now.
Pure, yeah.
Oops. Please re-review it and give it a different score.
You know what you do when you put you just call it the Ultimate Edition and put it on PC. It's that simple, because that's out too with Assassin's Creed this week.
Whoa. What a transition,
What a kawinky dinkle.
That was smooth.
Speaking of things that rhyme with dink...
Hey, are we going to talk about news later, that new Assassin's Creed game?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
is that another day?
Well, we're still working out the we're still working out brinks, but
alrighty.
But
Tyler and the guy is going to come in and have a brink on Wednesday and discuss a few.
I want to have like a whole news throwdown, see how that works. Maybe the second week.
TalkRadar brink tank over here,
and then a community extravaganza.
No, we're brinking hard. We're on the brink of an idea here
with Tony Danza.
Community Tony Danza.
We can still do that.
All right,
come on, it's still silly, right?
Oh, fucking let's talk about brink.
Oh, well, hold on, let me get to it. The biggest release of the week
Cincinnati
would have to be decidedly a little game. Indubitably. Brink. Which the mighty Tyler Wilde is reviewing.
My review will be up by the time you read this. I don't know what I'm giving it. So I'm giving it a 78.90.
78.90?
Because
you can do that move in Tony Hawk.
Look, I can't look at Metacritic right now to
I
compare so that I can choose my score based on the average.
I know, so because it's really more important for us to wait and post a review late. Just so falls in line than be as quick.
Review.
Timeliness is of no importance.
Yes. I mean, that Metacritic traffic, big bucks, man.
We've been doing that for 2 years before we created the Just For You Metacritic section.
And what we really like, when you want to be on Metacritic, you want to be right in the middle there.
Yeah.
Not at the top or the bottom.
Where you can be safely ignored.
Exactly.
And nobody will get mad at what you scored.
That's what I like.
So we've been trying to do with our website, instead of making a little website that nobody notices.
Yeah,
for as long as possible.
Or
safely ignored. We can do our jobs without
possibly, I have my own opinions about Brink, which you'll read in my review. Because I have a lot of opinions.
I live with you, so I've been watching you sort of.
It's fun.
Just go back and forth and like, does this suck? Is it awesome?
Yeah, it's kind of the thing where I'm like, okay, the mechanic and.
But what defines Brink as a game?
It is.
Wait, before we do this,
Tyler, wait! Pull out your Encyclobrinkia.
It'll probably help if we like. You really needed help with a strap line.
Yeah.
In fact, it couldn't go forward unless Henry and I came in. I thought you had a list. Oh, you have them right there.
No.
I'm working on
your Windows phone?
Yeah,
yes.
This is a game.
Right.
This is a game where the review is built around.
It's built around a pun made in the title, and since there's not any song titles until I came to the rescue that we can base one off of. So we had sort of brink of success or failure.
Yeah, it's on the brink.
I had brink and you'll miss it.
Brink and you'll miss it.
Brink and you'll miss it.
That's racist.
So no, that's not. Is that all right? Is that all right with everybody? We'll use that as the barometer. So that got almost no reaction.
That was on mine as well.
So you guys think we're all joking here, you listeners, but it is Tuesday or Monday. Sorry, it's Monday night. I have not written the strapline for this review that's going up in a few hours, and this is going to inform that decision. So
Henry, do you have one? Maybe you can help me out with.
Brink to the past.
Oh, I like
that. I Brink to the past. I think that has nothing to do with the game, though. So let's continue.
All right. Elson, do you have one?
In the future. So
I made one last time. Is it better than Call of Duty? I don't Brink so.
See, I had something on along the same lines.
I Brink so. I personally Brink so.
Forget everything you Brink
about Brink.
Yes.
About Brink.
Yes.
About Brink.
Specifically.
How about Brink outside the box?
Oh, I like that too. I like that too.
That doesn't brink outside the box, or doesn't?
Does or doesn't?
It did sometimes brinks quite outside the box.
How about friends don't let friends brink and drive? And about on
There's
that,
no
like,
driving in the game.
Say no to brunk driving. Does that work?
How about
get brunk?
Fill it to the rink with brink.
There's
how about
brinking back the tears?
Ooh. That's a real.
How about got brink?
Got brink, or brink the Kool-Aid.
Brink the Kool-Aid.
Brink the Kool-Aid. I also have. Well, Henry, you should go.
Has everything but the kitchen brink.
Hey.
Really like it.
I like it.
How about she's a brink and she's drowning slowly off the coast and she's heading nowhere. No one else. Fine.
How about he drinks a whiskey brink, he drinks a vodka brink.
That's my strapline, I think.
That one gets
that one is the current contender for.
If you all can think of Jimmy Durante, Brinka Dinka Doo.
And
that's the only one.
That's number 2.
Brinka Dinka Doo.
I brink, therefore I am.
I also like. We almost have an article here. How about 2 in the pink, 1 in the brink?
I think we'd have to go with that one.
Then my last one is nudge, nudge, brink, brink.
Yes, good. Oh, money. Anybody else with one? This one's. Ugh.
I don't have any time to prepare.
Actually, like Eric put the official strategy guide on my desk. I open it up. The first thing I read is a subhead: Brink Traduction. And I told you about it. I'm like, that's not even good. Everything we just said is better than Brink Traduction.
We spent like an hour trying to think of bad ones, and like they couldn't even use any of those.
This isn't chapter 2.
That one's even
it's
worse.
Brinkter 2.
And my last
one
one
just put brink in front of any word.
Was
tighten your brinkters.
Ooh. Wait, sorry. Not the right sound effect. My last one was would-be assassins can become regular John Brinkley Juniors.
Come Brink.
Boy.
That needs a Price is Right.
And shoot Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan.
All right, but Brink.
Yeah. So that's a game that, other than puns, is a real game. Developed by Splash Damage, published by Bethesda.
Bethesda.
From Bethesda, Maryland.
Bethesda, Maryland.
I feel like they've delayed this game,
which is on the brink of Washington D.C.
Well, I feel like I saw the trailer for it like in late 2008.
They've been promoting it
2009.
For a long time.
I can't remember.
So what's the bit like coming at? Like I don't know anything about this game, but in my mind it was like a big multiplayer game.
Yeah, it's but
that's all I know.
It is purely objective based multiplayer. I mean, there's bots, so you can play by yourself, but the bots are actually
they're there to act like you're playing multiplayer.
Yeah,
co-op.
And I like in Quake 3, that was the first time I remember.
So it's
that.
like Turok Rage Wars.
No, but
wasn't what I was going to say. But that's what it should be in your. Is it better than?
I rarely Turok Rage, but I rarely say when I review a game the AI is really good. I almost never write those words, but the AI is pretty good. Now and then I was like, wait, is that a real guy or no? The name looks too generic.
The name was a giveaway more than like his behavior.
Like, well, yeah, but still, like, you can only play bots for so long before it's like, I'm playing bots.
We were trying to see.
So, like, the main campaign is the same. It's just single player. Yeah, people come in at any time.
The main campaign.
Maybe I think you've had too much to bring.
So the single player champagne.
The single player champagne.
Put a 10 on this podcast.
Yeah, basically that's it. Like, there's the campaign missions. You play on either the Resistance or the Security, and you're on the Ark. Clever name for a floating city after the waters rose and civilization collapsed.
Man, that is clever.
That is. It really is.
I believe it's Nick's Ark.
Yeah.
Nick's Arcade.
Oh, here we go.
Do you want one of those?
Yeah.
We can help.
It's more of a Boeing, I think.
So,
all right. It'd be a Boeing. There you
Brink
go.
is cool. The reason The reason I've been going back and forth on it, like you've seen where I'm like, I love this game, I hate this game, is that it's really small. Like, the mechanics are awesome, and I have so much fun playing it. I'm like, there's only 8 maps. Like,
for the whole campaign?
Yeah, for everything. Like, the the campaign and the multiplayer, it's all the same, and there's 8 maps. And you can play on either side, which is a slightly different experience, but... and I hope I'm getting that number right after
maybe 9.
I think it's 8.
That is a sad case of brinkage right there.
I know.
Under 10. How about
There's
that?
under 10.
Under 10 maps.
And it's
So
my
real
review will have
weenie
it right.
brinker.
Yeah.
A real weenie brinker.
So you're going to give it a point for every map.
Yes. That's right. Well, I pulled out my magic 8 ball and gave a safe score.
And gave it an ask later.
But... it's really fun, and a single match can take like half an hour.
Yeah.
So it's not like these are...
It's like, what are the objectives you try to do in the matches?
You made it sound like it looked to me like a lot like Left 4 Dead, in that you all had like tiny little Left 4 Dead objectives before you could move forward.
Not really.
No?
Not really.
Well, what about the parkour kind of stuff like out of Mirror's Edge?
That's cool, but it's not Mirror's Edge. It's not Assassin's Creed. You will not jump between skyscrapers or scale 50-story buildings. You can just hold down a button and basically move across the map in kind of a free flowy kind of way, jumping over objects, climbing things, which like isn't a massive game changer, but it does make every other FPS feel blocky and just limiting, because it's like in Brink it's like I just hold a button and I can run over those boxes, jump up to the next level, run. Like, why can't I do this in every FPS? What kind of soldier can't climb boxes?
Because in Call of Duty there's clearly a crate there. You can't.
Yes, in Call of Duty I can't. If I
crate.
can't jump that high, I can't get up there. Whereas Brink is like, well, that's stupid. You can climb anything. You can run over anything. There's 3 body types you can choose. If you choose the light body type, you can wall jump and get to places other people can't.
If I choose the low rider body type.
Yeah, that's what I chose.
Why would anyone pick any other body type?
Because the light body type can't use heavy weapons, and it has less health. And the medium body type I found to be the most fun, because I can use assault rifles, which I like.
You gotta brink about it before
you gotta brink about it before you choose. And the heavy body types, like the tank, like it has a lot more health, can use big ass Gatling guns. And I mean, it's fun to explore the level with the light body type and be really fast, but I found the medium balance more fun. But I forget what I was originally talking about.
Yeah, what were the goals? Because it's not death. It's not deathmatch.
Yeah,
it's like you need to do things.
And I'm disappointed personally that they didn't just include team deathmatch just for the fuck of it.
Right.
Like, oh, you're tired of doing objective stuff? Hey, just shoot each other for a while. Like, I know that's not the spirit of the game, but it couldn't. You obviously needed a little more in this game. It couldn't
have taken much time to go and throw this in there.
Throwaway option, and you already have a game with guns and people in it.
Yeah, it's like it wouldn't have taken a lot of effort, but whatever, DLC. That's what that's for. $15. But you heard it here first.
I only saw you detonating a bomb, which at some point I'm going to go through and watch just the animation of you setting the bomb. The person, it's a keypad, and they enter in a code, and I think
like a
the digit
45-digit code.
45.
Because it has to have enough. It has to make it take a while to plant the bomb.
Yeah.
So basically, the objectives are you play as either the security or the resistance. The resistance wants to leave the Ark and see what else is out there. The security wants to maintain order. The resistance is the proletariat. They're tired of living in the slums. They want to see if the world has rebuilt after the massive floods. And the security's no, we have to make so. Basically, you're
Washington.
As the resistance. If you're the resistance, you're fighting to get off. So your objectives are basically like blow up. Like, all the maps have multiple objectives that the attacking team has to complete in order. So you have a time limit, and you have to blow up a door. If you blow up the door, then you have to go inside and hack something. If you hack that, then you have to grab, like, out of the safe a piece of intel, and you have to take that to another location. Or you have to escort a robotic vehicle and keep it repaired. And there's 4 classes, and each objective requires one class to complete. Like, the classes you can switch to on the fly. They're not
classes
like Team
don't
Fortress.
weaken you. They don't limit to what weapon you can hold.
It's not like Team Fortress
cool.
or really any other game in that your weapons are not affected by what class you are, just your skills. Like, if I'm a medic, I can revive people. Or I can revive a hostage that we're trying to escort.
I was watching you throw out adrenaline shots and pick. You can revive yourself.
You can help out your team. You can. You can't actually revive yourself, but you can give yourself a health boost. You're the engineer. You can build turrets. There's a lot of parallels with Team Fortress, but one of the things I said in the review that kind of bugged me is that, like, the story is not boring, it's not stupid, like, it's okay. It doesn't bother me, but it's limiting. Like, all they can have, if they set the entire plot on a floating city, are maps in a floating city. Whereas in Team Fortress 2, you can have like a Western-themed map. You can have whatever they want.
I'm in a castle. You can be wherever you want.
Yeah, whereas like Brink is like...
And I was looking at you, and I'm like, every single level for a while looked like my least favorite parts of Halo ODST.
Yeah, it's
you
like...
turn on your night vision.
It's either you're in like a sterile, futuristic environment, or you're in like a shanty town. And
after 2 days, I was like, you're outside! Oh my god, I didn't know you could go outside and Brink.
I don't know. It's like...
Who to brunk it?
I just feel like the story... There are so many audio logs to unlock. Can we stop with audio logs? Like, ever? I never want to unlock another
I like them
audio
just because you're allowed to keep playing as you listen to the lore.
No,
in games like BioShock...
You try not to shoot so you don't, it drowns out the sound of the audio log.
Yeah. Well, in games like BioShock, I like it because it's the story and narrative I care about.
I think it's okay.
Brink, maybe I don't really care.
Yeah, but it doesn't...
It's part of, is that you're not slowing the action down to keep the story going.
It's just an audio log you unlock after a match by getting experience, and you can go to a section of the menu to listen to them. I didn't listen to a single one.
The story is like pigeonholes them to stay the same place all the time.
Well, that's what I feel like is annoying. Like the mechanics are so rich and cool and fun. Like there's so much you can do.
Oh, the customization is...
And the customization, your weapons, you get attachments, you can unlock new weapons by doing challenge missions, which is the only thing.
You could customize up to 5 levels of your muzzle flare.
Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 different muzzles you can... is it the right word? I feel like it's wrong. Muzzle?
I don't know. It looked like some gun-toting fucking
that you can put on
Satyr.
your gun.
I'm supposed to know.
They all do the same thing. They all improve one stat of the gun, but there's like 5 different options just because they change the way your muzzle flare looks. Like it's the really deep customization, although no female characters, which I thought...
Good!
Which I think
this ain't a place for females.
It's probably because there was so much customization that doing a female version of everything would have taken them forever, but it just feels weird that, like, no, just dudes.
But that's so weird because the dudes are in all honesty, the dudes are kind of varying.
Yeah,
and you couldn't have made a female character.
Really,
she can run fast too.
That's one thing I love about it is the character design is really cool, really different. And
that is true.
It looks different.
Did you make your character intentionally to look like Gordon Freeman originally? No.
But does he?
He did a little bit.
Maybe that's subconscious.
He did a little bit because he was like he had a yellow and black scheme and he had like a red painted goggles.
Oh yeah, but there's a ton of customization. You can make your character look awesome. You can customize your guns. I don't know, it's really fun, but then it's like you do all that work customizing and you're like, well, now I'm in 1 of 8 maps doing the same objectives again. I'm escorting the same robot vehicle. I'm blowing up the same bridge.
And what do you love about it?
Well, I love the free running. Like, I don't think that's a huge game changer, but like
you're a big Mirror's Edge fan.
Yeah, I am, and I think that should just be in every shooter because it doesn't make sense that you can either jump or run or walk or crouch like that. No, you should be able to fluidly move over terrain.
Yeah,
that's
be an acrobatic mercenary or don't.
I love the actual shooting, which is almost like the bottom rung of like what is special about the game because there's so much built on top of that with the objective system and the classes. But it puts a health bar above the enemy's head.
Oh, that is nice.
And there are so many hardcore players who are going to be like, that's so like dumbed down, but no, it adds to the strategy of it. Like, if I see a group of enemies and I start shooting and see that there's a medic in there who's injured, I will run and focus on him because if I don't kill him...
You can die and still respawn.
If I knock someone down, they don't immediately die and respawn. They're flailing on the ground. The medic can revive them. So if I see a bunch of tanks with big guns and in the middle is a little injured medic, like, I will focus on killing that medic because if I kill his friends and then have to reload, he'll revive them. So like, and I also immediately know if I'm doing damage to someone, which is something I hate about Gears and Halo. We just played the Gears 3 beta. If you were watching the live stream, I was fucking horrible. But I didn't know if I was even hitting someone. I'm aiming at them. I'm pulling the trigger. They look fine, and then they walk up to me and kill me, and I'm like, I know I'm just not good at this game, and I could be better at it. But in Brink, I was like, I'm using a submachine gun at a distance and I can see that this isn't working, I need to either find a new position or switch weapons or do something. I just felt like...
But it's also not a game... It's nowhere near a one-hit kill, not even a one-hit headshot kill.
No.
It kind of seems like Borderlands in that respect.
Yeah,
there's a lot of Borderlands flavor.
There is some Borderlands flavor. But it felt good using the guns. Like, they're not like... Pew, 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 pew.
Right.
Like, they're... Like, they're... Like, when you get someone in the head with a submachine gun and pull the trigger, it destroys their head, and it feels good. Because like
watching you do really well at it, like when I watched you in a streak of doing really well, it looked amazing. Like just
the guns feel hefty, and when you catch someone in the head and they don't have time to move. Like anyway, that's
I saw like on Twitter. It seems like the response is going to be kind of all over the place. Because like I saw like Gerstmann and Jim Sterling, like a lot of people just tweeting about like, boy, I really can't wait to see what everyone else thinks of this.
Yeah, it is going to be all over the place. I think some people are going to hate it. Some people are going to love it. If you really like if you liked Counter-Strike, if you like Team Fortress 2, you'll probably like it. But you'll wish there was more. And one of the things I told you is like, everyone looks really bored. But
I'm not bored.
But Team Fortress.
I'm a professional.
Part of what makes Team Fortress so popular is the community around it, like the Valve, sort of Valve community around it, and the people making maps and stuff. And like, Brink's maps are just so complex. I can't imagine there's going to be a big PC modding community or anything like.
But Fallout has given people the tools to make certain.
Bethesda has done that, and I don't know about Splash Damage's previous games if they had not, but like. Back when we were playing Counter-Strike, it was pretty much in a summer. If you felt like learning how to make a Counter-Strike map, you could.
That some dude just released his fucking Osama hideout map.
Is it Abbottabad?
Abbottabad.
I'm saying that totally wrong, I'm sure.
No, it's Abbottabad.
Oh, I was thinking Barack Obama would correct me. And
yeah, interesting.
Because he's a Muslim.
Interesting factoid about...
No, because he's known for pronouncing things correctly.
Interesting factoid about Abbottabad. It's actually named after an English colonist named Abbott.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, and Abad doesn't mean a bad.
I bought a bad place to hide, am I right?
You had a chance to use a Wikipara sound that you still haven't had for weeks.
No. Oh my god.
Anybody else is allowed to do this. There's only so many sound effects you can hold.
Is there a Costello bad?
A Costello?
Very good.
That's the best I can do.
The point I was making, the last point.
The final point.
I got it now.
Final break point is that games are getting so complex that the reason there's only 8 maps is because those maps are really hard to make. They're big maps, but like I don't see anyone. I can't foresee anyone producing a bunch of like community-made maps.
But we can still continue calling you review-wise Crazy Eights.
Yes.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
Unless
well,
I
you just gave a 10.
You think?
Just gave a 10.
I did. I gave Portal 2 a 10.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
I did consult my Magic 8 Ball for this one, but we'll see.
The game was terrible, Tyler.
It was.
I don't know why.
Portal 2 was shitty. It was way too short. It should have been DLC.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours long. Come on.
It's like
maybe for a dummy like you, Tyler, it'll take 6 hours.
You just hit one button for beat game, and that's
it is all you do.
Yeah.
More like Mortal 2, like TOO. Right?
What?
Is that hilarious? Isn't that hilarious?
That was hard to understand.
Right?
Hoodwinked 2.
I didn't mean anything by it. It was just the biggest Portal 2 pun I could come up with.
Other thing I don't like, audio logs I don't like, and I don't like using TOO for a sequel. I just saw Hoodwinked 2 TOO on
I was going to say, I thought you wouldn't saw that in theater.
Oh, no, I didn't see it. I saw it written.
Because you didn't come out with us to the bad movie night or the bar.
Thor time? Want to talk about Thor?
We will talk. Now you light up. Jesus Christ. Hold on. Let them say his piece on Brink and we can go right in Thor.
Oh. Brink is really good. It's just small. And it doesn't meet the potential I had hoped it would because I feel it limits itself with its story. And they came up with a cool premise. I don't dislike the Ark premise, but all the levels have to be on the Ark, and that's kind of boring after a while.
But your review will be up, and you took tons of video of like you playing in multiplayer.
I took video of an entire match because I feel like it's really hard to explain the intricacies of Brink. Like there's a half hour, okay, maybe not a half hour, but it felt like a half-hour introductory video which you can watch before you start playing the game, which I sat through, and it's dull as fuck. But it did help me get into the game, so because it's complicated, but you'll figure it out pretty quick. But yeah, if they had just been like, They could have been like, okay, here you are in the Himalayas, here you are on the moon. They could have done anything with these cool mechanics, but instead, no, you're confined to this like floating city where everything's either futuristic or rusty. Awesome. So that's what I feel about it.
I don't know. I hope it'll get. It seems like they're going to improve. You said that it's a little laggy and the textures are bad, and they announced a day one patch for textures and loading.
Tough for reviewers when they say, so you're going to experience all of these problems, and we're going to fix them on day one. Yeah,
on every system.
Promise.
How are PlayStation 3 users going to feel about that?
I still have to put these in the review, but I actually have said that I'll
sometime in June they'll get that patch.
I'll go back if in fact the patch does. But yeah, the textures are real blurry until they finally load and sharpen up. But they do that way too late. You'll be really close to a wall, and it's still a blur of pixels, and then suddenly pop! Oh, there's the high-res texture that was supposed to load, and I got a lot of lag issues. But granted, I was only playing. There was only like one open online match while I was playing with like Chris from GameSpot and Gershman from Giant. Like I know all their gamer tags, but whoever was hosting, I'm guessing it was.
You will too if you watch these videos.
I'm guessing it was GameSpot hosting, giving me all the lag.
Exactly.
Trying to mess up my review.
You had to.
Little they know I'm going to look at their score on Metacritic and just copy it. That's all I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Just like slightly rewrite whatever they said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thor.
You want to talk Thor?
Yeah, I didn't see it. I didn't go with you guys to anything.
He did remind me. I don't have any.
This was our first big Games Radar movie night in a while.
I don't have any. I don't have any updates at the PSN. Well, last week my gamertag reported
right?
Live. I don't know. Maybe he can call in and tell us something. Ooh. Oh, we're in luck.
Man, you got him on the line real quick.
I can't even believe that. All right, my gamertag has been reporting live from PSN, giving you constant updates on the situation. It's not great in there, as you can see. It's still pretty fierce. Chris, my gamertag is PSN still down.
Indeed.
True.
Anyway, Thor.
I wish I was Tyler Nagata right now because I think they did announce a date.
They said May 31st is when they're trying. They're trying to have it back by.
I think maybe that'll be their big E3 press conference.
It's back.
It's back.
And I talked about this with Chris. Poor fucking Brink.
I know.
Multiplayer focused brain. Its sales are gonna suffer.
It's fucking dead in the water.
Any game like the what was
Portal
that game
2
or
right
the PSN game or the XBLA game you were talking about? Outland. Yeah, like that would have launched a PSN.
Well, fucking Mortal Kombat and Portal 2 came out on the same day, and both of those rely on online multiplayer.
Yeah, but retail games you can at least buy them and play them.
And I was looking at the aspect of like people in the office who had. A lot of you have pre-ordered all these games, so like you wouldn't know. But right now, we might be able to see a difference in who buys what based on PSN being down. That could be interesting.
Well, I'd buy it all for the 360.
I'm interested to look at the sales charts and see has the PSN outage really fucked up sales of certain games on the platform.
You got to think SOCOM 4 is selling terrible.
Yeah, because I can believe
MotorStorm Apocalypse too.
I was going to play LA Noire on PS3, but if it's not going to be up, can I not sign in to get my fucking trophies?
No. Well, yeah,
you will eventually, but I mean, it'll store them on your machine until you're ready to update.
Sound convenient?
Boy, that sounds great.
There's no real online aspect to LA Noire.
I just fucking
hate
a small
it.
It's just irritating. I'm tired of this playing not online with people. It's like, why don't I play on a Wii at that point? Why don't I play on my fucking GameCube?
It's nice to compare progress with your friends.
At the very least. It's a fucking thing we've become accustomed to, and then when it's down, it's like, well, I'm not paying for it, so I'm not that irritated at it, but it's still like, really, guys, every week that goes by, this money you're losing big time.
But the movies...
I just jizzed.
I don't know if I'm going to get tired
Henry
of that
told
day
me
and
like 20 times.
You're like the only people involved in this podcast
revealed.
who don't know what that's referencing right now. Nobody does because you didn't listen last week.
I did listen last week. It's just testimonial, isn't it?
No, I don't know.
I did hear this testimony. Was there a part 2 of the testimony?
All those people,
there's
those people hijacked the show and put those in. I didn't do that.
It was really great.
They hacked into Chris's
I didn't even ask
computer.
him.
I thought it was really great
with
with those people.
Yes, I'm very disappointed in the Giant Bomb people, Jim Sterling and Seth Killian, but I'm sure they have their reasons for not participating.
For not promoting our podcast.
Come on, Thor.
Thor
is the first movie night I think
nobody cares about that, Henry.
Indeed. It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a good movie.
Yeah.
Brett's right. Nobody cares.
Wait, that can't be true. I do like Thor.
Yeah, they don't care about that. It was our first.
That
movie
it was our
night
first movie night.
They don't care.
Sucker Punch.
They must love that we were all good friends.
And
fuck Sucker Punch.
The rest of us go to movies all the time who live in the city.
Yes.
Shut up.
I watched 2 movies with Brett this weekend.
Okay, we never talked. This was the first blockbuster we'd been to in a while. A lot of us went to
that I don't give a
Midnight
shit
for
about.
Maniacs and stuff.
Right, doesn't
Whatever.
matter.
Anyway, Thor.
Yeah,
when we were
best
watching
movie
it,
about a big burly guy who hits people in the head with hammers I've ever seen.
Yeah, but didn't it make it seem like more than that for just a couple seconds? Like
I
it was.
prefer
I
Old
cared
Boy.
about what was happening.
I
If
thought it
you
was
blinked, you would have missed it.
I felt it was.
Don't blink, you might miss.
Stop! God, your face is so red. It's as red as the Batman logo on your shirt.
That's pink, bitch.
And your face is pink.
Come on, man.
And the trailers to it, like last year, didn't look good.
No, the
they
trailers
look terrible.
The trailers don't do it justice at all.
And
Like,
I'd said from the beginning that the Thor trailers looked like shit, and the Captain America trailers looked awesome. And then I went and saw Thor, which was awesome, preceded by a Captain America trailer that looked like absolute fuck shit.
Yeah.
Like just terrible.
the Cap has to be bad because they are doing reshoots this late, which is bad.
If they haven't showed Hugo Weaving yet, he could save everything.
And also the fact that that's the trailer that they showed on the opening week of Thor, and it's the same trailer that they've had for a couple of months. They don't have a new trailer to get me more excited. That's the same trailer.
And there was so little in costume stuff, and But Thor, man, it. What I loved about Thor most was that they really did just go crazy. Like they went for it with Asgard. They didn't.
I thought they were going to pull punches there.
No, everyone was in crazy costumes, and I loved that. Like in the first 15-20 minutes, like I was assuming everyone else was being turned off by the movie, because it goes straight into Ice Giants, Rainbow Bridge,
No, it was kinda
fighting all
awesome.
this shit, and I'm like, man, everyone's gonna bitch about this. I know it, because I'm like, I'm following along because I already know all these characters and scenes and shit. But then we got out, it turns out Charlie and Chris, who fucking hate everything with a cape in it.
But I'm a huge fan of Thor. I always have been.
I've never heard those words out of your mouth.
No, when I was a kid, I was definitely like a big fan of Thor. I'm not so much anymore.
Right.
But like I didn't know how they deal with that property, and I was surprised that I didn't think about it till way later. What did I say? I said it in the FAP, like right from the beginning. Yes, they have an opening in the present with Natalie Portman and the big titty girl from 40-Year-Old Virgin,
Kat Dennings.
Yes, exactly. and then boom! It's all fucking lore and helmets and like British accents and like just doesn't relent for a second.
Just shooting on that Rainbow Bridge, like flying like Power Rangers.
Yes, like just unreal. And for a Marvel movie now, like that is way further than they've ever gone.
Yeah.
Well, it's a hard enough concept to tell to people that well, they're gods, but they also work in sci-fi, and they're sort of space aliens too.
Science,
it's the same
magic.
thing.
Where I'm from, they're one and
the
the same.
Yeah.
And I thought the destroyer armor, which was handled perfectly.
It looks a lot like the first comic or whatever I saw it in.
And no, the design was identical to the comic.
That thing was fucking scary.
It's
really cool. I haven't been afraid of a thing I've seen in a movie in a long time.
Really?
That's fucking horrifying.
The bit with that thing is like when its face opens and there's nothing in there. It's just fire.
It's destruction.
But it was. Then I said this when we went out drinking afterwards. My only problem with the way they handled it, because visually and the way he was fighting and then the way, like when Sif comes flying down and stabs him through the head and then he rotates around the sword and that was fucking awesome. But then when Thor finally gets his hammer back and fucking Team America theme starts playing and he fucking Top Gun anthems right through the destroyer, it bothered me because the bit with the destroyer is that he can't be beaten. And it's one of the few things in comics that has sustained that. It's not like Juggernaut where they and everybody beats Juggernaut now because we need to show how strong someone is. It's like, to my knowledge, the destroyer armor is still... They can only run away or trick but he just destroys the fuck out of it.
I didn't think that was sort of because he can be temporarily destroyed.
Spoilers, by the way.
Not that I know.
But like Sif dug something through him. He stopped for a second.
He stopped briefly.
But like at the same time, this is kind of big spoiler territory. Maybe we should
you
chill
guys
out.
totally ruined this movie that I was totally going to see.
Maybe we should chill out. So hold on.
But I did like the sound he made.
All right.
These aren't plot points. It's just what a great action
listen
scene.
to me. Listen to me. When Thor, and then he went and then
that was a great scene.
No, but
I can't believe they had a club like that in Kansas City.
What happens when he gets the hammer back is sort of like his father inviting him back.
Right, it's what it is.
Which would call the Destroyer away.
It's a very I see what you're saying.
Yes,
it's Odin.
Yes, it's no longer out to destroy Thor.
It was still
because
shooting
it's
at
no
him.
longer under his jurisdiction.
It was still firing at him.
No, I know, but when he hits it, it's not dead. It just goes away because it's no longer against.
Well, I loved how it's first appeared in the movie. Like it appears for like 5 seconds, and there's not even any lead up to it. It just goes whoop, boom, and everything explodes and is dead. And then
that was another thing. Like again, like right after the
sounds like it goes Battlefield 3 trailer.
Yeah, it's just like even after like just silent looking for things in the sky with Natalie Portman, and then fucking rainbows and axes and helmets and. You're cast out, and then all that like goes straight into the, and then amidst that chaos of what the fuck is happening, here's a giant suit of armor that walks out of a wall, blows everything up, and then everything goes silent. Like those motherfuckers are gonna pay and then they fly. Now they're fighting for 7 minutes straight, and then. Yeah. And then now he's banished, and now they're back on Earth, and everything's quiet again.
It's going to be it's going to be one of the sillier movies to watch in a couple of years.
It will be.
There's a lot of like I don't even want to ruin it because I did like it. It's the most fun I've had in a Marvel movie.
The middle part where he's Thor on Earth trying to interact with people.
I thought the movie was going to be all that. I require more salt.
The thing is, it's like if this movie were made 15 years ago, it would be about Donald Blake, archaeologist who finds Thor's hammer on a dig, and then he gains its power and starts dressing in black leather.
I know exactly.
And wears a really shitty version of the Thor helmet that's somehow black.
I hope Michael's painting a vivid picture of what this really could have been like 10 years. I can visualize all this. Like that's what I thought I was walking into.
Well, like the X-Men movies replaced the suits with black leather, as if that's less ridiculous than their costumes.
That's awesome. Hugh Jackman makes that joke in the first X-Men. You prefer yellow Yes. Well, and the new movie did it, and it's not embarrassing.
Yeah, the First Class trailer shows them in yellow and blue costumes.
I also really wanted to see Hugh Jackman's in San Francisco doing his favorite Broadway numbers. I really wanted to get tickets.
This weekend while we were watching Thor, Hugh Jackman was in town doing show tunes.
Yes.
I would have so gone to that.
Me too, buddy.
Really no, don't worry. It's this weekend. You want to go?
Speaking of my own homosexuality,
oh my goodness,
dude, fucking
wow!
I forget who pointed out. Was it one of the ladies who said that no woman in the movie shows a bit of skin?
No, it's a very woman friendly
That's what the girl talk was.
But
apparently.
Thor
takes his shirt off,
and I'm like. Fuck! That asshole is chiseled. My girlfriend's shaking and can't. Now she can't stop talking about it.
His pants are barely. He barely has his pants on.
You can see the definition of his pelvic bone. I just wanted to fuck his pelvic, but not his dick. I don't want to fuck his dick or his butt. His pelvic bone, just the contours of it. I could
sort
probably
of rub my erect wiener all over his bone.
Yeah. If I had two of them and put them and sandwich them together, it'd be like my hand, and I could just jerk off with it.
You want to fuck his torso. Not anything below it.
Yeah, maybe maybe squeeze those 6-packs together.
But no, it's
a 3-pack.
Just fuck his belly button. That's what you're getting at.
If he was a merman, I would dry hump his scales.
He is a sexy human being.
It was a moment where he walks out with no shirt on. It was a normal quiet scene, and you could hear.
This wooden mallet will suffice to keep yon enchanted nightmares at bay.
All right, that's not Chris Hemsworth.
But yeah, he walks out and you can hear like half the audience breathe in Jesus
But we were in
Christ.
San Francisco and you guys sat down there and Charlie and I sat in the good seats with our respective ladies and we were all surrounded by gay men and they lost their fucking mind when that shit happened. It was awesome. Holy shit! You see how that guy looks? They all became really straight the way they talk. What the fuck? Holy shit! Get your hand off me! That guy looks amazing.
Well, the moment the movie was over, Kayla leans over. Was like, that guy's body was sick. and then we walk out and all our girlfriends are standing in a corner it's high school. They just saw the quarterback of the high school football team. The guy quarterback walked by with his shirt off. And
you never see much beefcake in superhero films.
And it treaded a fine line of not being. It could have easily been a beefcake movie. It could have easily had girl save me.
I thought it was going to be,
and it didn't do either one of those. No. It just had just enough.
There's that one scene, but I'm thinking of Sif, Natalie Portman, and big tit girl from
Kat Dennings.
Kat Dennings. Like
what a progressive movie with that big titty girl.
We don't see them with skin exposed.
You don't see their forearms.
Below the elbows.
But you get to see them lust over a really hot guy, but they don't portray them as sluts.
And they live in the fucking desert. Go figure.
And they live in the desert, and they never remove a fucking article of clothing. That Sif is a gorgeous woman.
Yeah, Lady Sif.
I don't know. Jamie something? I don't
know who the actress is.
She's gorgeous.
But Michael has the Dr. Pepper can here with Sif on her.
Look at that.
And I love the description of her. Says she is unequaled with a sword.
Sif, one of the fiercest warriors in all of the God of Ass.
She doesn't really use a sword.
Her proficiency with the sword is unmatched. But Dr. Pepper died.
What's she holding? What's she holding? That's not a sword.
Oh, that's a dick. I mean, figuratively.
Why is she holding a fleshlight? Why would she? What would she do with that?
Sif is holding carbonated water, caramel.
Wait, you mean what's she holding in her hands or in her mouth?
Phosphoric acid from Asgard.
Did you know?
Natural and artificial flavors.
Soda.
Sodium benzoate. Sodium benzoate. Yes. And then I will rule the world with my potassium extract.
Also, man, the cameo in that movie.
My aerobic acid.
The Yellow 5.
The cameo in the movie was fantastic.
The superhero cameo, yeah, like
Hawkeye.
And I heard it was going to happen.
Yeah, when it happened, I knew you knew, but like I was just so excited that it was happening. Like I just elbowed.
He elbowed me like a cartoon character. Like
holy shit!
And I'm like, yeah, I got it. It's Hawkeye. But that was cool. It was a cool moment.
So cool.
It was real, and I didn't know that was going to happen. I hadn't been reading anything about it.
I heard it could happen. Like Hawkeye would be in one of the movies.
And the thing
we didn't know when, and we didn't know where. And the fact that like the Marvel playing together in one big universe.
Yeah.
Like some guy with a minor part in Iron Man is a huge
Yeah, he has a big part.
Huge part.
It's so cohesive, and I can't wait to see Avengers.
It's becoming such a real universe.
Because I'm telling you, that Captain America movie is going to be bad.
It's going to be. It looks bad. I know, but let's not say that.
But when the Avengers comes out, and
Mark Ruffalo is the Hulk,
when Joss Whedon will take now that once Cap has been set up, I think Joss Whedon is going to make all those characters playing off each other is going to be fucking incredible. Because Chris Hemsworth as Thor, talking to Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, and Chris Evans in there as Cap. Those are the main three characters.
We said it in the FAP, but like Chris Hemsworth Thor
is really.
I didn't expect to be able to depict Thor as anything other than a bump. Taking him into the present, like I'm a god, but he was fantastic. The dude,
also
a big-headed, half a god. No, but he was really funny, and he's very charismatic as Thor, which I thought that wouldn't be possible because he's a fucking god.
And you see that he's full of himself, but there is a goodness underneath still. Even though he's a jerk.
There's a sense of responsibility, that they set up very well.
With great power.
But just thinking about if they do what I want with the Avengers film,
becomes the possibility of being replaced by Andrew Garfield.
If they have like the Ultimates kind of fight of Hulk versus the Ultimates, and they're like just thinking of like Chris Hemsworth, like Thor, like
fighting a Hulk.
That seems so cool. That's something you never see.
It turns me into a 10-year-old. Like it'd be so cool if he just comes out, bam, punches Thor in the face.
But I think to Thor's credit, that was the movie that I don't care about any of this. It's just making me have fun with what Thor is. Him coming to Earth.
No, I'd like a whole Thor sequel too.
And I hate origin stories, and they didn't really bother to do the origin of how he's Thor when the movie starts. You get to see how the Earth gets introduced.
And they didn't do the Donald Blake is his alter ego on Earth approach, but they made a reference that
was cute.
Natalie Portman's
Stay for the credits.
Natalie Portman's prior ex was named Donald Blake on a name tag, and it's like
he wears his clothes.
Well, but then he uses that as his identity later on.
But that's also it. I don't know. It was a different type of story too, of a guy who's instead of a regular guy who learns how to have power, he's a guy with power who learns to be a regular guy. And earn his strength.
He learns what it means
to be human.
What was the thing in the comics? Like he was reincarnated as Donald Blake with no memory of who he was.
Sorta, yeah.
He had polio or something.
There's a lot of versions.
He had a bad leg. Yeah.
I do want to know all the facts about Thor. Was the community pissed off to know that Thor would be introduced with a beard?
Maybe.
Because they were really pissed.
No, you have to build up to the beard, and then you introduce Beta Ray Bill.
He had a beard for a long time.
I know he has. He has.
Been on and off.
In all the Ultimates, he has
for
a beard.
While, though.
And I figure everybody's pretty comfortable with the Ultimates if they're looking at the way the Avengers are being set up.
Yeah.
Did you know Lady Sif is the sister of Heimdall?
Of course I fucking knew that, man. I'm not some idiot coming on a podcast talking about Thor without knowing. What did you just say?
Heimdall was so awesome. And
Heimdall was really good.
Yes, he's the sister of the Heimdall.
And also, they let Loki. They let Loki have his giant horn.
Yes, but they didn't relent. They didn't relent in him looking like a Beetleborg the whole fucking time.
On paper, it looks so stupid.
I love.
But they.
I mean, if you haven't seen it, I don't want to give away this. It's a thing at the end where Thor is, guess what, fighting Loki. But the thing he does with the hammer,
yeah,
I'm like,
awesome.
I'm thinking like, has that ever been done in the comics? And for a part of me wanted to be like, you can't do that, and then I'm like, that makes total sense.
Yeah,
makes total sense.
And,
and like, somebody tells him like, it can't. It's not that it can't be undone. You can undo this. But
just sit here and think about what you've done.
I'm surprised that you did it.
Yeah.
Like, God, I love that scene. Yeah. Like you said, like I remember hearing about that. People were complaining about the casting of Gatekeeper.
Yeah.
Heimdall, like with Stringer Bell from the fucking Wire. Like if you ever complain about that guy being cast in anything, you have I don't think you have to see The Wire, but just watch The Wire. You will never complain again.
And he was fucking fantastic.
Amazing.
I didn't even give a shit that he wasn't like some Nordic Superman.
Well,
yes. Fuck it, he's amazing.
Then I don't have to obey you.
Perfect for the role. Who cares?
My biggest problem was with the Warriors 3 guy.
Yeah,
it's a very heavy Japanese accent, which
that
just
was a little odd.
Doesn't make sense.
It's like nobody else has this accent, and they all live on Asgard.
And an Asian guy cut me off on the way to the theater. So
also, personally, Volstagg should be like 600 pounds, but he's that you can't expect.
You ever met a 600-pound Norwegian?
What's the deal with the Warriors 3? They're like dead guys in Valhalla or something? Or?
No, they're just good warriors.
No, they're just like Thor's close friends and like known warriors, and like
I'm
they're
trying
kind of
not
the top.
to drag this out. Here we go. Approach a full-length podcast.
This has been a long Thor discussion.
I honestly didn't know Thor doesn't fly.
He throws the hammer.
He throws the hammer.
And
I did sort of know that, but I forgot about that.
He can hover if he spins the hammer around.
But he doesn't fly.
He does not fly per se.
No.
Per se, except in the Ultimates.
Though I've seen him I didn't realize he had gotten so powerful to the point in Siege, in the Siege comic, he actually flies to the sun like in a second by throwing his.
Can anybody give
hammer.
me some more Thor trivia before we close out here?
He's a Thor.
Well, in like the end of around 2004,
I don't know everything about Thor.
Around 2004, Loki finally triggered Ragnarok, which is the final battle of the gods.
Final Fantasy 13.
Yes, and they.
Oh yeah, man! When Odin appeared at one point, I was like, "This is that's a summon from Final Fantasy."
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, when he comes out on the horse,
yeah.
The fucking backlight behind him like a disco.
Yeah, that was
fucking
awesome.
Kill you with Gungnir.
But anyway, Ragnarok happens.
Yeah, Ragnarok happens. All the gods die. Thor dies. It resets everything. Thor's canceled for several years, and then. J. Michael Straczynski starts it again several years later, and then his reboot, which is just called Reborn, I think. But it's just Thor. Only Thor comes back, and he tries to rebuild Asgard, and all of the Asgardians like Sif, Loki, all those characters, their souls have been put into various hosts on Earth who don't know they're carrying their souls. Mm-hmm. So for the first several issues, it's Thor going around Earth just trying to find what happened. Mm-hmm. And everyone, because Ragnarok has happened, everyone doesn't have to come back as the role they once were. So Thor comes back as a woman, Loki comes back as a woman, and is trying to really push, look, I don't have to play the role of the trickster anymore. That was how we were. And then Ragnarok happens, and you've magically managed to beat Ragnarok. That's not who I am anymore. Spoiler. He's
still pretty.
Yeah, he's
pretty tricky.
But years later, so there's a very cool series of stories. If you just look for Thor #1, not Mighty Thor, which they just restarted last week with a new #1, but just look for J. Michael Straczynski.
Not the sci-fi movie, which learned that Marvel didn't copyright Nordic mythology.
Yeah, it's too bad for them.
They can call it the Mighty Thor or Thor God of Thunder, but after that, everyone has free reign of the old myths, so they can do anything they want.
Let's go.
Thor, God of Lightning.
Bit me, Brett.
Oh my God, get away!
Do you think this is a problem? Something bit me, I think.
Something bit me.
Might have been a bullet.
Size is problem.
Yeah. There's like red dots on my arm. The whole area is really
We're breathing.
Yeah, it's probably bed bugs.
We should quit.
Okay. It's probably bed bugs.
Hey, that's the end of our new shorter.
Does anybody have anything they want to tease?
Episode?
Yeah, our shorter episode.
I want to tease leaving at 8 like I feared.
I have a thing about a book coming up soon.
I have something I really need you guys to watch and like coming up.
Read the Brink review. I'm working hard on it. In fact, I'm taking time out of working on it to do this.
Yep. I'm working on a feature. I'm contributing with all of us to a feature that Cheryl's working on that should be pretty fun.
God, I forgot all about that.
I'm working on a couple of things related to a very awesome game that's coming out next week.
No way.
Yes way!
Is it set in California?
It might be set in California.
Ooh, that's all we're giving you.
It's San Francisco Rush.
Yes! It's San Francisco Rush.
It's Sacramento 2099, I think.
Sacramento. Rockstar Sacramento.
Boring.
All right, we're going to take you out with a Jack Ryan Radio remix by OC Remix. Remixer, I know I'm saying a lot. Late Night Sleeping by Happy Five Black or something.
Suck on the new format.
Don't understand what's going on.